Koi winabo jo, Majekado koi indigo, adikdo dem gainin. Anishinaabe koi indao, Minwa made koi indao. Wasayakasing and Donjaba, Adikamiksing and Dida. My name is Clear Sky Woman, and I live in the community of Adikamiksing. I'm here today, Hanga Mukwenezage, Maji Indigenous Ingenuity Ishnakadig. So I'm here to smudge the Indigenous Ingenuity exhibit here at Science North. And I'm going to smudge the exhibit with sage today. And while I do this smudge, I'm going to be thinking about the safety of the people who will be participating and coming to look at the exhibit, or if they watch it virtually. I'm thinking of the safety of the staff who are taking care of this exhibit. I'm thinking about the learning that's going to be happening here in the exhibit, and that people are seeing how Anishinaabeg all over Turtle Island have contributed to enjoying a good life here on Turtle Island. I'm also thinking about the questions that will come, that learners, as they learn to relate to the information and the items here, that they will have more questions about the relationship with Anishinaabeg all over Turtle Island and globally, Indigenous people globally, and think about things that the Indigenous people have shared so that everybody could enjoy a good life. Miigwech.
Miigwech, Julia, and hello everyone. My name is Ari Pabamse, and I'm a Bluecoat at the Indigenous Ingenuity exhibit at Science North. To begin today, we would like to acknowledge that we're here at Science North. We are on the ancestral grounds of the Atikmashing, Anishinaabeg, and Wanapate First Nations. We would also like to acknowledge the Métis peoples for their cultural and economic contributions to this area. This area sits on the Robinson-Huron Treaty, and as we're all treaty people, it is important for us to acknowledge the treaty area we live on and are an active part of. Let's take a moment to appreciate the land we are on by acknowledging the traditional territories and treaty areas where we are located. Today, we bring you the celebration of Indigenous performances, cultural and innovations, as well as music and dance performances and science demonstrations.
Ani Kanuya, Bryden Gwiss Kiwenze, hello everybody, my name is Bryden Gwiss. I'm Bear Clan and I'm originally from Cape Croker. Beside me is my fellow singer, his name is George Shwana, he's from Wiki. And back here I have two Jingle Dance dancers, Nimishans Trudeau and Pungmasan Trudeau. Today we're going to be sharing a song and a dance with you all today. It's called Jingle Dress Dance. And the reason why we're showing you this dance is it's a really old style of dance. We consider it like a healing dance. When you go to a powwow and you hear all like 40 to 50 women dancing in their jingle dress dance, it just sounds like waves coming onto the shore. And you know how we always say water is life, you know, because without water we would cease to exist, you know. So we're going to honor with the very sad news that we heard this year about the residential schools. It's very shocking for many people, you know. It's very shocking. We get mad, we get sad, and it's very shocking. So right now we're just trying to heal and just bring awareness and to help each other as Canadians and Anishinaabe people. You know, we need to work at seeing the good things in life, you know, and come together. Although there's some bad past, but you know, that's stuff that happens, and we need to move on from that, and we can, and we can do this in a good way. And the important thing is to, you know, be positive and to be mindful and to realize that we are all still healing, you know, from this. And this song is a jingle dress song, and I hope you guys enjoy the dance and enjoy the rest of the festival as well. And Chimiigwech for having us here, and I hope you guys enjoy. So Chimiigwech, thank you. Oh, one more thing. Before I sing, we're not really saying any words, you know. Like when we're singing, Some songs we're not even saying any words. It's all about feeling, right? It's all about feeling and feeling good and being positive. And it's also a form of prayer when we're singing, right? So when we're singing, that's what we're doing. We're just thinking those good thoughts and thinking those healing thoughts, eh? And just trying to feel good, right? So I just want to throw that in there, just to throw a little bit of teachings in there. So chimigwech, and enjoy our song and dance.
Ani bojo nimkins Indigenous oki kendan donjaba benishin dondem anishna beninendao. Hi, my name is Connor Little Thunder Spirit Lafortine, and I'm one of the workers at the Indigenous Ingenuity exhibit. So this is one of the exhibits that we have. It's on archery. It's one thing that we did a lot traditionally when hunting. Other means of hunting included the spearing, which is also an exhibit that we have. We used different traditional bows when doing hunting. So this one is a bigger one to imitate hunting bigger game, and we have a smaller one for imitating hunting smaller game like birds and bunnies, whereas this one would be like buffaloes, moose, bear, but I don't think there's a bear included in this exhibit. The different types of arrows are also used. These are obviously mimicked because we're not going to be having real arrows with children. So they do have just like the soft end of it. And the arrow goes here along the rope. And when you shoot it, you kind of just shoot it like that. And the small game arrows are a little different because they do not have a section that goes into the rope. It kind of just rests onto the rope. And it's obviously a smaller arrow. So it's just the difference in how the animals are shot and how the arrows are used. And if we were to use the exhibit, just need to put your bracelet on. It'll give you a bit of instructions. And then animals will appear on the screen before you. And then you can just shoot them. Obviously that wasn't a good shot. But they tend to move around as well. And warnings will come up if you shoot a mama bear, or if you shoot, like, for example, oh, that one is fine, but it'll give you your catches on top, and the point is to get 4 of them before the time clock runs out. But if you do end up shooting a female, it will tell you not to do that. See? It also shows you where you should hit the animals in order to maintain the vital organs, and just the best way to kill an animal. They get quite creative with their warnings. Then you can keep getting your arrows and restarting until you get those 4 catches in that 4 minutes.
Hi, my name is Eli Pibomse, and I work for the Indigenous Ingenuity exhibit at Science North. Now, this exhibit that I'll be demonstrating today is one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most interesting exhibits here. Now, what this demonstrates is each of the animals' footprints that correspond to each of the blocks, and each of the indigenous methods of catching and trapping these animals, such as we have here, the otter. On this side here, it shows just how exactly the trap that the indigenous people of the lands put up in order to catch the otter. Along with that, it also shows the strategy right here. Now, the otter matches up to each of these footprints right here. So, as such, the otter would go to the corresponding block. To the otter having webbed feet, it would go right there. And there are multiple other different blocks here, such as the duck, the caribou, the hare, or the beaver.
Donc, cette station nous parle un peu du tipi, les enseignements qui vont avec le tipi. Ceci, c'est un tipi qui est fait avec une tarpe plutôt synthétique, puis c'est fait avec du bois qui est un peu plus fabriqué. Donc, un tipi traditionnel est plutôt fait avec des peaux d'animaux, des bâtons qui sont récoltés et coupés à la main. C'est souvent des tipis à 8, à 12, à 15 ou à 16 poteaux. Traditionnellement, chaque poteau a un enseignement qui vont avec. C'est vraiment le tipi qui représente la femme. C'est aussi la forme qui représente la jupe de la femme, donc la connexion à la terre et vraiment cette ouverture à Mère Terre. Dans l'atelier, tu peux trouver des petits objets, tu peux créer ton propre petit tipi. Puis ça te montre un peu comment le faire, puis comment faire avec les cordes, puis tout ça. C'est une bonne façon de juste être capable d'imiter quelque chose de si grand et si traditionnel.
Now, this right here is the design, the toboggan game. Now, to start this game, you're going to be using your RFID bracelets and placing them on the black panel here. Now, this game is to show the importance of how indigenous peoples design their toboggans. Now, in this method, there are many different design methods for the toboggan, such as choosing the materials of wood, leather, or fur, and choosing the shape, with it being long or short, and along with the strings. Now, from there, after the player chooses the shape, length, and size of the toboggan, they click play. And from there, they need to use their fingers to guide the toboggan through the rough terrain. Now, as you can see there, I passed the first test quite easily due to the way I designed the toboggan. And you keep going, and I have passed the second test on the toboggan I designed. However, when I go up here, I will fail the test because my toboggan was not designed properly to handle slippery slopes. Now, the importance of this is to show how Indigenous people used the materials that they had to properly adapt to the situation, the harsh climates that they were presented with. And this just shows just how long it took to fine-tune the toboggan that we know and love today.
Awesome. So here we're talking about moccasins and footwear. Fun fact about moccasins, it doesn't just mean this traditional shoe. Moccasin is actually just our word in Anishinaabeg for shoe. So a lot of people assume that it means this specific form of shoe, but it's just the only shoe that we had traditionally. And so that's why we called it a moccasin. And initially it was called a mixin, which is just a different way of pronouncing it. Here we have beadwork and we have fur, and this is made with leather. It's usually like moose or deer, or depending on what area you're from, you would make it from other parts of the animal. Here the fur, often made with like I said, wolf is also wolf, coyote, anything like that has that nice big fur, but not all moccasins do have that fur. Some just have the nice finish with the beads and the leather. And this is the inside of the leather, so it's a bit rougher, it's a bit darker. And if you look on the other side of the leather, it's more of a smooth, the leather that we know traditionally, like in modern society, would be the other side of that leather. Beadwork is also something that we've utilized for years now. It's something that we use for traditional reasons, but also just to beautify everything that we do. We often represent it with like flowers or feathers or anything that resembles our clan or anything of that sort. So here we have like the flowers, and every color typically means something when you're doing that beadwork and when you're doing those moccasins, which are all made by hand traditionally.
So bonjour Indinawe, maganadag, nishwaswe, migiziwak Indigenous, makwado dem and emki wekudon and donji, apichigo migwech bizendawig. My name is Melissa. My spirit name is Nishwaswe Migiziwak. I am Bear Clan and I live in Thunder Bay. Thank you all for listening. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my regalia today. I'm one of a few Makwa dancers. Makwa, she was gifted to me by my brother a number of years ago before I started dancing on the powwow trail. And I had a couple of visions that made me understand that my role was to dance with Makwa, and it's not something that I think just anybody can do or should do. So I actually attended a shaking tent ceremony, where I was given permission by the Gege Manido Makwa, the great spirit bear himself, to say that yes, you have permission to dance with Makwa. And I was given certain responsibilities and obligations that I have to fulfill in order to dance with her. And when we dance, it's not so much that I decide how we're going to dance or what we're going to do when we dance. She totally calls the shots. So it's often a very emotionally draining time, because we become like a sponge or a magnet for people's healing, for the pain that they might be feeling, the trauma they might be going through. But I think also we absorb some of the goodness and the happiness, the excitement that people have at seeing, the bear come out and dance in the powwow circle. So when I dance, some of the movements that I do represent or reflect the motions that a bear might make if they're out in the woods in their natural habitat. Swiping for fish in the water, or being sort of playful and silly, like reaching up, maybe a butterfly's gone by, or maybe they're climbing a tree and running away, kind of thing. So the dance itself is kind of changes every time you do it, but to me it's a healing dance, and it's something that I hope you will find whatever it is you need from it when you see this dance. So haho miigwech.
Thank you everyone for joining us for this celebration. We have one more performance to bring you, but before we move to that piece, we would like to thank all the individuals who participated and shared their performances. Thank you for your time, energy, and patience. Miigwech. We would also like to thank our partner, Northern Lights Festival Boreal, and supporters, the Canadian Heritage, and the City of Greater Sudbury for their contributions to this celebration. And now, to close out our celebration, please enjoy the return of Bryden Gwiss Kiwenze and a performance brought to you by our partner, the Northern Lights Festival Boreal.
Up next, we have Bryden Gwiss Kiwenze. Bryden lives in Sudbury, Ontario, but has ties to Wikwemikong, Cape Croker, Ontario, and Indian Brook, Nova Scotia. He grew up on the Powwow Trail and has been dancing Northern Traditional since he was 2 years old. He says, "I've had a lot of teachers who've taught me about the drum and drum etiquette. I've spent my whole life at the drums in powwows, and I've been making beats since I was a teenager." His first album, Round Dance and Beats Powwow, was nominated for Indigenous Music Album of the Year at the 2017 Juno Awards. Kiwenze blends crisp hip-hop production with traditional powwow singing and drumming. He produces the beats, but often also delivers the vocal tracks, which makes his style unique among a generation of exciting musicians exploring this fusion. In 2020, he released a follow-up album, The Forgotten Truth, which addresses the 60s scoop, the tragic legacy of residential schools, among many other themes and topics. Bryden Gwiss Kiwenze vit à Sudbury, Ontario, avec des liens à Wikwemikong, Cape Croker et Indian Brook, Nouvelle-Écosse. Il est un danseur de powwow et son musique mélange le chant autochtone traditionnel avec des sons électroniques et hip-hop. Bryden Gwiss Kiwenze.
Ani, Kinewia. Hello, everybody. Bryden Gwiss, Indigenous. My name is Bryden Gwiss. Makwa Dodem. I'm part of the Bear Clan. Sa beginning agi, minwa niashingiming donjaba. I come from Indian Brook, Nova Scotia, and Cape Croker, Ontario. That's where I'm originally from. Shtataha. That's just a saying we say. It means just like an expression, you know, it means like when you see something that's really cool or that excites you, you say, Shtataha. My late Uncle Chris, he's a powwow MC. He's passed away just before this whole lockdown happened. And he was a powwow MC around this whole area, around Sudbury, and Wikwemikong, Manitoulin Island. He was a really awesome man. So every time we'd see him, he'd be like, Shtataha, nephew, good to see you. You know, it was a really good saying and expression, you know. So with this song, it's a crow hop song. It's a powwow crow hop song. And the song is called Shtata Hop, you know, so it's like an awesome dance, and I just kind of made those two connect, and it just really reminds me of my Uncle Chris, and this is Shtata Hop. rich. All right, so what I want to speak about is what you kind of see behind me. It says every child matters, right? And that's we're talking about these residential schools, and it's some hard news that we've been shown this year. You know, some people will be sad, some people will be angry, and it's okay to feel those emotions. You know, because these things have been kept away from us in our histories, in our schools. You know, being taught to us. So there was. I grew up knowing this knowledge. You know, we were all raised in that way, and knowing what had happened to us. You know, with where my grandparents, and even though myself, I did not go to residential schools. That hurt and that trauma was still passed down. You know, because when those children made it from those schools, they survived. They went home. I mean, they didn't know how to raise their children with love. You know, they raised them around alcohol and drugs and hitting and stuff like that, right? So this next song is really, really important to me, and it's called The Forgotten Truth, and I made it all by myself on my phone. It's my first time ever writing a song, and it talks about my experience growing up on the reserve, what I went through, and what I've overcome. And look at me here today, you know, so you gotta really think about and be proud of where you come from and where you're at, you know, because we're only human beings. We have our good days and our bad days. It's always going to be like that. But we always got to remember to always find that way to help each other out and reach out and just to be that good person. So this next song is very important, and it's called The Forgotten Truth, the real untold history. Always on the road and thinking about my homeland, thinking about my wife and my kids, how they grown, man, thinking about that love that I hold for my whole fam, thinking about my life, where I've been, where I'm going. Once upon a time, when the moons ago, grew up when I was in Ontario, living his life was all I known, had to move from home to home, for 6 years of my life, 5 house fires, uncle suicide, 7 years old in a hospital, scared for my life, but I had to go get surgery on my heart so I could still be a part of living life, playing cars, G.I. Joes, with my bros, traveling the Indian car, going to powwows, dancing hard, hanging out with my friends, walk the race, I'm end to end, but some of us are still missing. And some of us at early age started drinking and driving. They lost their lives, so when you hear our stories, listen, no more hiding. The stories when I was young, residential schools was one, took the daughters, took the sons, cut the hair off everyone, beaten by a priest or nun, just to speak in our native tongue, missing daddy, missing mom, should I stay or should I run, leaving the res was the mission, but I need a letter permission, got a scene in Indian agent, cause food and jobs was the reason, leaving the res was the mission, but I need a letter permission, got a scene in Indian agent, cause food and jobs was the reason, protect the land and water, we will, must have felt that was evil, must have been afraid of our people, had our culture made illegal, that was evil, residential schools, that was evil, and a 60s scoop, that was evil, forgotten history, that was evil, deny the youth, that was evil, never taught in schools, my peers never knew, the teachers had no clue, the forgotten truth.
need to remember this is very, very shocking news. We're all human beings, you know? We need to come together and help each other. This has affected all of us, all Canadians, all Native people. It's all new news to us. So we need to heal each other, help each other, you know? We're all human beings. We all live here together. Stop this division, you know? It's all about healing. Let's get together, you know?